The inquiry process, a research method that's out of this world. What do you think of when you think of research? I think of gathering information from lots of different resources and then pasting the information together to write a 5-page paper for my teacher. We're now in the 21st century, and students need a different set of skills than we did years ago. Just like technology, research methods change. For this project, your teacher and I are not teaching you the traditional research method. We're going to show you how to do it the 21st century way. There's an organization called the Partnership for 21st Century Skills, and they say that 21st century learners need the 4 C's: critical thinking and problem-solving skills, communication, collaboration, and creativity and innovation. The 4 C's are essential skills needed for success in today's world, and the library and your teacher want to help you succeed now and in the future. Traditional research really doesn't offer many opportunities for us to learn the 4 C's, but there is a type of research that does. It's called the inquiry process. What is the inquiry process? Although there are different inquiry methods available, they all generally have the same elements. Students choose the topic. Students create questions based on what they already know and what they want to know. Students do research and find information to answer their questions. Students share the knowledge that they learned with others. And lastly, students reflect on how and what they learned. Your teacher and I have created an example using the inquiry process. At our school, we use the inquiry process called the model of inquiry. As your school librarian, I'll show you how to use the model of inquiry so you can understand what you'll be doing for your own research project. Your teacher and I are here to help you on this project, so ask us if you have any questions. The first thing you'll need to do is choose a topic. I chose a topic that is probably near and dear to many of you. As you know, our school is a bring your own device school, but not everyone has a device. So the topic I chose is, how do I choose what type of tablet to buy? This topic has meaning to me. My son wants to buy a tablet for school, but he doesn't know which one he should spend his money on, the iPad, a Nexus 7, or a Surface 2. Let's look at the 6 phases of the model of inquiry. The first phase is connect. You need to think about or connect to yourself what you already know about a topic. Here is some background knowledge that might connect you with tablets. I chose a tablet because I don't really like the small screens on a phone, and a laptop is too big. A tablet is a good size that I can carry in my backpack. Lots of my friends have tablets, and I've used theirs a couple times before. I've seen the Nexus 7, lots of different types of iPads, the Surface 2, and Kindles. I want a tablet because sometimes in class our teacher tells us to go to Edmodo, or we're allowed to do research on a device, and I don't have one. My parents said I have to buy it myself, so I want to make sure I buy a good one. I like to play games and go on the internet, so I want a tablet that can do that. And oh yeah, I have to do homework on it too. All of these thoughts and connections help activate learning. Just by connecting yourself to the topic and understanding what you already know, you've started the inquiry process. The next phase is wonder. This is where you develop questions that you want answered, and the questions are the basis of your research. To help you figure out which tablet to buy, some of your questions might be, how much do tablets cost? What do I need to look for when I research tablets? What and why are there different sizes of memory? I want to use it for schoolwork, so do they have keyboards? What are the differences between the iPad Air, the Nexus 7, and the Surface 2? Can I play games on it? Are the graphics cards good? And is there internet access? After wonder comes the investigative phase. This is where you'll find journal articles, read books, interview people, watch news reports, or whatever resources you find that will help you answer your questions. For our tablet research, we can search online for technology magazines and websites for tablet comparisons. Here is an example of a technology website that compares the Nexus, the iPad, and the Surface, and even other tablets we didn't know about before. Notice what they compare: the price, the processor, the size of the screen, memory, camera placement, if it has a USB connection, the size and the weight. Some of these things I didn't even know about before, and they weren't in my original questions. So I think I need to add some new questions to help me decide on a tablet. Also notice that there's lots of different types of tablets that the website is comparing. There are more types of tablets than I realized. So another new question is whether I should expand my search beyond the Nexus, the Surface, and the iPad. I could also go to the websites for each brand. For example, I could go to Apple for the iPad, Google for the Nexus, and Microsoft for the Surface. I could talk to my friends who own tablets, and I could go to Best Buy and interview a sales representative. And there's other resources too, like books and databases. Next comes the construct phase. You created questions and did research to find answers. With this new knowledge, you now have new understandings about tablets. You have constructed new knowledge, and you're able to connect your new knowledge with your previous knowledge. Now, with this new knowledge, were you able to answer your questions and draw conclusions? Did any main ideas come from your research? For example, what did the reviewers find important when they were comparing tablets? The main ideas I noticed is that they all access the internet and can play games. So I need to make sure that I look at the price and the size, and that I think about what I'm going to use the tablet for. Was there enough information to form an opinion or to make a decision? And did the research bring up any new questions that need to be answered before a decision can be made? Now you need to express what you've learned. This just means that you'll share your new knowledge with others. In traditional research, this is where you would hand in your paper to your teacher. But in the inquiry process, it's all about sharing your knowledge with others. This could mean sharing it only with your fellow students, but it could also mean you posting it online for anyone to see. Depending on what your research is about, you could present and share it in a variety of ways. With the inquiry process, we're interested in seeing your creativity and how you express yourself. So think about what would be the best way for you to present your knowledge to others. I decided to use Prezi, a cloud-based presentation software, to share my knowledge of the model of inquiry with you. But if I were truly presenting a project on how to choose a tablet, I might have created a chart that compares all the tablet features. Or maybe I could have created a YouTube video or a colorful and visually interesting infographic. In the library, we have handouts to show you how you can use a variety of Web 2.0 tools for presentations. So please ask me if you need any help figuring out how you want to present your research. The last phase is reflect. Reflect means to think deeply or carefully about, and this is a very important part of the inquiry process. In the reflection, you'll think about and write down what and how you learned. Were the resources you used sufficient to help answer your questions? And were there anything that you could have done to improve on your search? What will you do differently the next time you use the inquiry process? And while you were researching, did you develop more questions as you learned new information? Did your research give you enough information to make a decision? Here is an example of what a reflection could look like. Here I've decided to use PenZoo, a free online diary. You can see that I wrote about my topic and how, as I learned more about tablets, I was gaining information and forming opinions on what I wanted in a tablet. Reflecting allowed me to sit back and think about how and what I learned. What's so unique about the inquiry process is that the focus isn't on the end result, like a paper. Your teacher and I are interested in the process that you use to learn about your topic. Here's a visual representation of the model of inquiry that we'll pass out today for you to use as a reminder as you're doing your research. Notice it's circular. Although each phase guides you towards completing your project, in the inquiry process you can create and investigate and reflect on new questions at any point in the process. Remember, your teacher and I are not interested in you just throwing facts into a paper and giving it to us. It's the process of your learning that we're interested in. You might be wondering why we're teaching you how to do research this way. We want you to learn skills that you'll use for the rest of your life. The inquiry process is a method that allows for deeper and longer lasting learning. Asking and answering questions are skills that you will use throughout your life. The inquiry process teaches you how to think critically and problem solve a topic that is important to you. And you'll be able to communicate your knowledge and be creative and innovative doing it. If you use the inquiry process with a partner or a group of people, you'll learn how to collaborate and create with others. The inquiry process can be used for school research papers, science projects, creating a speech, and so much more. But it will also help you in life. It can help you decide which college to attend, which career to choose, or even help you to pick a pet for the family. Have fun on your journey of discovery through using the model of inquiry. Oh, and by the way, my son chose the Nexus 7 because he liked the price, the screen resolution, and the ability to play games on it, the three things that were most important to him.